goaltenders that I really, really like in this draft. And, he's going to go to university, and I think that he's got a chance to continue to progress. And he may be in the same boat as Mikey DiPietro. And that's Devon Levi.
Oh man, he was so good at the World Junior A Challenge.
But he was great in Lac St. Louis midget, and he's just continuously made his game better and better and better and better. And I look at him. I look at Devon with the athletic ability. I think he's got exceptional hockey sense, which I think is an essential requirement to be a really good NHL goaltender. And he's going and he's going to develop. And in Northeastern, that's what I believe. And I think, now I don't know if you have to take him in the third round, but I really like Devon Levi. And, I also go back to last year's draft. And, I kick myself, and I do, because I always liked him. And, I should have had him rated higher than I did, and I didn't. And that's my own mistake. But Dustin Wolf, who played in Everett, and the Calgary Flames drafted in the 7th round, I think he's got a legitimate chance to be an NHL starting goalie. And when I watched Dustin, in the years previous, and then I watched him this year just dominate, and now I look at Devon Levi, you know what? I'm just not going to write those players off because of height. And, it seems to me that we've moved into an area with goaltenders now where height is becoming something that people are writing them off, like we used to write off small centermen and small defensemen. And I think we're going to get some goaltenders that are going to be able to develop that may not fit the ideal goaltender. When I say ideal, maybe that's the wrong way to put it, but they're not going to fit the goaltending bar that some teams put on a minimum height. It's like going to Disneyland. You can't go on the ride unless you're this height. I think there's exceptions.
Yeah, no, I think Devon Levi is an awesome answer. We put him on our board. I think he's in the 4th round, and I mean that performance at the World Junior A Challenge. I mean that Canada East roster. I don't want to take away from it. You don't get to the gold medal game if you didn't work your tail off, right? But let's be honest here. Like, that team got as far as they did because Devon Levi willed them to that point in the tournament. And do you want to talk about special goaltending performances this year? We can talk about, Askarov at the Holinka Gretzky. We can talk about Dylan Garand, I thought played really well in that tournament as well. But I think that right at the top of the list has to be Devon Levi at that tournament, because it was just so unbelievable what he did, especially on such an undermanned roster relative to the other teams. So,
do you remember the game against the USA?
Sorry?
Do you remember the game against the USA?
Oh man, that was unreal.
Every single USA player had to go through extensive neck adjustments after that game because all they were doing was shaking their head going back to the bench.
Yeah, no, it was funny too, because the disconnect in talent between the goaltender and the rest of the roster on Canada East too, like you could sense the frustration, because it was like, how many more scoring chances can we produce?
I couldn't agree with you more, and it happens. I remember talking to Pat Brisson, because Brendan Brisson was there, and Pat said, I remember Pat saying to me after the next day, he just said, he goes, it really is unbelievable what the young guy did, and you can't, other than putting the puck behind him, I don't know what else the USA could have done.
We lose you for a second there, Craig?
I don't think so. You got me?
Okay, we got you again.
Sorry, yeah.
But,
I said, other than putting the puck behind Devon Levi, I don't know what else the USA could have done.
Yeah, I mean, putting the puck in Jerome Bettis' arms and having him just bulldoze his way through.
There's an idea. That might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking a lot about analytics, but what about cross-sport ideas? Let's really get adventurous. What's funny too is Brendan Brisson was 1 point away, I think, from setting a new World Junior A Challenge record in that game, and he must have gotten stopped by him like 100 times. So that must be a performance that definitely stings in the Brisson household, because Devon Levi was just not having it. He was not willing to let him break that record. Moving on to our next question here. How do you think this defensive class stacks up to most years, and how many defensemen do you think go in the first round versus